with, what, a minute to go. Fabrizio Di Mauro. And Baresi has had that sort of afternoon. Effenberg crossed. A tap-in for Di Mauro. His only problem, the teammates who wanted to have the honour of scoring the goal. But he was there before Batistuta. Fiorentina 3, Milan 6. Effenberg. Radici hasn't made a substitution. And there's been very little time for him to do it now, even if he wants to. And Albrecht's still running, on that occasion across the pitch. And it goes out off Di Mauro for a throw to Milan. Well, that would be one positive message from Florence for the clubs that are challenging Milan for the championship, is that this season it doesn't seem quite so difficult to score against them. 7 goals now conceded in 4 games. In fact, there's 7 goals in the 2 away matches. They've beaten Foggia at home 1-0 and Atalanta at home 2-0. How do you stop them scoring? That is the question. Follett. Now Tassotti. Oh, Van Basten! He's kicked away through, and Milan refusing to let Fiorentina have the final word. Just another rap over the knuckles for the impertinence of scoring at the other end. Marco Van Basten makes it all look supremely easy. And the goal coming deep into stoppage time. Milan have caused mayhem at the Fiorentina end of the ground in both halves, although it was a late flurry to bring them 3 goals. 2 from Van Basten, a second in the match for Hullet to go to the 2 from Massaro and Lentini in the first half. But they finished on a very high note. Baiano, Effenberg and Di Mauro the scorers for Fiorentina, who have also contributed greatly. And there'll be a lot of football to enjoy in this part of Italy, I'm sure, over the rest of the season. But the team to follow has to be Milan. The entertainment supplied by Milan and Fiorentina matched elsewhere on an amazing afternoon for Italian football. Torino soon in trouble against Sampdoria. The direction of Carini's free kick crucially changed by Annoni. Sampdoria lost that lead 11 minutes before half-time. Carlos Aguilera teeing up the chance for Andrea Silenzi. 64 minutes gone now, and England's Des Walker indecisive with his header. Aguilera taking advantage of that. 2-1 to Torino, who started the day top of the table. But not for the first time. 33-year-old defender Pietro Viercovod popped up with a priceless goal for Sampdoria, this one of his best, with 4 minutes left. Torino 2, Sampdoria 2. Napoli and Juventus had both made progress in Europe in midweek, but a shock in store for the majority of the spectators at the San Paolo Stadium. Andy Möller helping Roberto Baggio to an opening goal. That was followed, though, by a major blow for Juventus. Julio Cesar tackling Jonas Tern, and the Brazilian stretched it off with a broken leg. Into the second half, Baggio still directing the traffic. Möller following those directions to collect his 4th in 5 games. Juventus hadn't finished. Baggio substituted by now. Gianluca Vialli with a free kick he might not have otherwise taken. Napoli usually so strong at home, but beaten already by Inter. They battled hard in the later stages. Daniel Fonseca taking his league tally to 5. And Juventus breathing even more heavily when Fonseca's volley was blocked and Zola fired in the rebound with 3 minutes left. Not quite enough, though, for Napoli. For Atalanta, a 3rd successive away defeat, though they made Inter wait for their success. Their goalkeeper Ferron soon saving from Bianchi. And then anticipating an even more hectic afternoon when Montero fouled Nicolo Berti in a goal-scoring situation and was sent off. That was 2 minutes before half-time. The 10 men, though, were still able to irritate Inter in the second half. Rambaudi to Gantz, but Zenga in the way for Inter. Rambaldi really did have the chance to overturn the odds. Peron was still doing his stuff at the other end, stopping Stefano Desideri when a goal was beckoning. But it was Desideri who earned Inter a penalty and the second point. The culprit was Magoni, a second-half substitute. The converter from the spot, Ruben Sosa, his first goal in the blue and black stripes. Not the freewheeling football of other games on the day, but results-wise, it's going well for Inter. Lazio lacked Karl-Heinz Riedler against Parma, but again picked Paul Gascoigne and didn't regret it. Gascoigne, a central figure straight away, going down under challenge from Taffarel. A penalty put away by Giuseppe Signori. Diego Fuser responded to Gascoigne's example, off on a fabulous run of his own. Parma 2 goals down. Parma perhaps affected adversely by their Cup Winners' Cup tie in Hungary 3 days earlier, where they won through against Wipestoza. They scored here Ozio at the second attempt. But then Taffarel had to dive on a back pass to stop a Matricano own goal. That's a free kick now, of course, and it was set up by Cavero for Signori's second. Fuser then fired in his second from 20 yards. Taffarel surprisingly beaten at the near post, and after 4 successive draws, Lazio's first win was assured. Ozio did grab another for Parma to pull it back to 4-2. Gascoigne did come off to applause and adulation. And there was still time for Lazio to ice their cake with another penalty. Minotti on Signori. Signori slotting in his hat-trick. 7 goals in 5 games for the former Foggia forward, really revelling in his new life with Lazio. Caution not thrown to the winds in quite the same way in Cagliari. The Sardinian side seeking their first victory. Roma, another of Italy's successful European sides. Mihailovic with that free kick. But 3 minutes after half-time, a crucial goal for Cagliari from a similar position from Puchedu. And Roma weren't able to respond to that. They were brushed aside here, Puchedu putting this chance away of Oliveira. Cagliari kept the upper hand. Enzo Francescoli finding the post from an awkward angle. 1 goal enough to give Cagliari plenty to cheer about. A victory of great value to them. Last week the city of Genoa was awash with rainwater. This week the deluge came in the form of goals. Johnny Van Skip with his skill at crossing the ball. Signori steering in the header. Genoa 1 and Ancona 0 with 16 minutes played. Ancona had a quick answer to that. Massimo Agostini's shot deviating off the same Signorini, 1-1. The most vulnerable defence in the division was quickly breached again. Another deflection. Soliano diverting Scuravi's attempt on goal. Ancona then in more troubles of their own making. Alessandro Nista, their goalkeeper, taking too many steps. That's an offence not usually penalised in Italy. Scuravi made the most of the situation from the free kick, 3-1 after 34 minutes. It really seemed a question of how many for Genoa at this stage. Ancona fought back. Laios Detari extending his great scoring sequence to 5 games in a row, 3-2. Ancona then conceded their 19th goal in 5 matches. Scuravi sent flying by Ruggeri, the Czechoslovakian, taking the penalty himself. And Genoa feeling that their opening run of 4 draws was coming to an end. Not so. 9 minutes to go. Soliano found the target for Ancona, 4-3. And then a most acrobatic equaliser, Centofanti against the bar, in from Agostini. Amazing match, which also saw Torrente of Genoa and Ancona's Ermini sent off.